Today, we are diving deep into a property called Terra at Eco Ardence. Now, this development is promising to solve a massive problem for home buyers. But what if it's actually creating an even bigger headache? Let's get into it.
So, here's the big question, right? Can you actually buy into a luxury township at an entry-level price? I mean, think about it. These premium Masterplan communities, they're usually for the super rich. But Terra says they've cracked the code. They're dangling this exclusive lifestyle, but without that crazy multi-million-dollar price tag. The question is, how on earth are they doing it?
Okay, to really get why this is such a big deal, you have to see what the normal price of admission is. We are talking 1.8 million ringgits, and that's just the starting price for a landed home in Eco Ardence. That's what you call a wealth anchor, right? It sets an incredibly high bar for the entire neighborhood.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the luxury arbitrage, super clever investment angle. Then we'll check out this whole duduk thing. After that, the big one, the traffic paradox. We'll see what it's actually like to live there, run the numbers, and then the final verdict. Let's do it.
Okay, first up, the luxury arbitrage. This is really the core idea behind Terra, getting all that prestige without paying the full price. It's all about finding this clever little loophole to get into a high-end ecosystem for way, way less. So here's the secret sauce, the magic trick, if you will. You're not buying that multi-million-dollar mansion, right? But you get to use everything else. The gorgeous parks, the cool shops over at Ardence Labs, even the same top-notch security that your super-rich neighbors get. You're basically piggybacking on their investment. Pretty smart. And this is the number that makes the whole thing work, starting from just 488,000 ringgit. I mean, just think about that for a second. Compare that to the 1.8 million we just talked about, it's not even in the same ballpark. This is designed to throw the gates of a luxury township wide open for a whole new crowd. So you're probably wondering, how in the world do they get the price that low? Well, it's definitely not by accident. It's all thanks to this concept they have called duduk, and it's basically engineered from the ground up to be a whole new class of home.
The whole philosophy behind duduk is actually pretty simple, but it's also really powerful. They're basically saying no more to those tiny shoebox apartments. Instead, they're focusing on practical, actually livable spaces. We're talking 900 to 1,000 square feet. And here's a huge bonus. They come semi-furnished, so if you're an investor, bam, it's pretty much tenant-ready from day one.
Now, if you look at how duduk has evolved here in Eco Ardence, you can see a really clear pattern. Yeah, the launch price is definitely creeping up with each new project, but look, the most important number here is right on that bottom row. Look at the total units. Terra makes this massive shift from the super high density of the early projects all the way down to a much more exclusive 420 units. And you can really see that shift hit home when you look at the price per square foot. We're talking a nearly 40% jump from the first project, Huni, to Terra. So what's driving that? It's not just inflation, folks. You're paying a premium for that exclusivity, for the lower density, and for the fact that the entire township is just more mature and developed now.
Okay, let's talk about what might be the single most critical part of this whole thing, the location. And with Eco Ardence, you've got this classic paradox. On one hand, it's blessed with amazing highway access, but on the other, it's cursed by one single massive hurdle.
I mean, on paper, this place looks like an absolute dream. The connectivity is just fantastic. You've got this whole web of major highways right at your doorstep, connecting you to pretty much every important spot in the Klang Valley, business centers, the airport, you name it. But here comes the reality check, the Setia Alam toll plaza. This thing is the one major way in and out for the huge populations of both Setia Alam and Eco Ardence. And what does that create? A massive, soul-crushing bottleneck every single day.
And let's put a number on what that bottleneck costs you. We're talking an extra 20 to 30 minutes tacked onto your commute during the morning rush. And get this, that's just the time it takes to crawl through the toll plaza itself. That is a huge slice of your morning gone, poof, every single day.
And this table here, it really lays out what that means in the real world. That quick 20-minute drive to Subang Jaya when there's no traffic, yeah, that easily turns into an hour during peak times. And that 35-minute hop to Kuala Lumpur, you better budget up to an hour and a half. This, right here, is the trade-off you make for that township lifestyle. Okay, so let's say you can stomach that commute. What's the payoff? What's it actually like to live inside Terra? Well, this is where the project really starts to shine. It's all about low density,
and some really cool, high-tech greenery.
You know, in today's crowded market, low density is the new luxury, and that is Terra's biggest trump card. We're talking just 420 units in a single tower. That is a completely different world compared to competitors that are cramming in over 1,000 units. I mean, just think about what that means for your daily life. Shorter waits for the lift, a swimming pool you can actually use, and just plain tighter security.
And then there's this other really unique feature, a Miyawaki Park. Now, this is not your typical condo landscaping, okay? It's this really cool scientific method for creating a super dense native forest that grows something like 10 times faster than normal. So you get this lush, mature little jungle in just a handful of years.
And this isn't just for looks. It has 3 very real, tangible benefits for the people living there. Number 1, it's a natural sound wall, blocking out a lot of that noise from the highway. Number 2, it actually helps cool the place down, fighting that urban heat. And number 3, for a lot of the apartments, your view is a beautiful, dense forest instead of, a parking lot or a highway. Big win.
All right, the lifestyle stuff is really impressive, for sure. But let's get down to brass tacks. Let's crunch the numbers. Is this thing actually a good investment?
So, a pretty good way to project how Terra might do is to look at its older sibling, Huni, right? Based on what Huni is renting for now and, forecasting a few years out, a unit in Terra could probably fetch around 2,400 ringgit a month by the time it's ready in 2029. So, if you bought in at around 500,000, that gives you a projected gross rental yield of about 5.8%. And let me tell you, in this market, that is a very, very healthy number.
All right, let's bring it all home. To really give a final verdict on Terra, you have to look at it through 2 completely different sets of eyes. The eyes of an investor who's just looking for a return, and the eyes of a homeowner who's looking for a place to actually live.
So, here's the final showdown, the bull case versus the bear case. On the plus side, it's a huge list. You get the township prestige, that amazing low density, and you're almost guaranteed to have high rental demand. But the cons are just as serious. That peak hour traffic is a nightmare, no sugarcoating it. You've also got commercial title issues, which can mean higher bills. Plus, you're paying a premium price right from the start, and you still got that potential highway noise to think about.
So, at the end of the day, it really boils down to this one single question. Terra is offering an incredible lifestyle upgrade. We're talking safety, beautiful parks, convenience, all at a price that's just unheard of for this kind of place. But it comes with a heavy price, your time, every single day on that commute. So the final decision, really, it's all about your personal priorities. You have to ask yourself, does the lifestyle outweigh the commute?